sports and basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
You know, what can I say? But it wasn't going to happen here with him.
Okay, it's that time. It's time for the Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay along for the ride podcast here on CLNS Media Network. Show is brought to you by PrizePicks, as always, North America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download today and use code CLNS to get $50 when you play 5. PrizePicks, run your game. It is Hall of Fame time, folks. Bob, what's your history with voting for the Hall of Fame?
It's a rotating panel of 12, and I've been on it twice. And there's a term, it's your terms, 3-year term. Wow. But I have been on it for a while now. So it's you know, and I was strangely, there's also there's a nominating committee and a final voting committee, and you wouldn't think you'd be on both. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The nominating committee turned it over to the voting committee. Yeah. But the last time I was on both. It was strange. So,
sounds like they need to revamp it, Bob.
People are referring to it as the most mysterious Hall of Fame, you know, process of the 4 big ones, and it probably is. So I was thrilled to be on it. Honestly, you go in New York and you sit around and talk and and make your cases and so forth and then we vote and that's how it goes. And then you vote by mail. You can vote your ballot later. Right? When the ballots are, you don't vote in person. You nominate in person. You vote by privately.
Has there ever been anyone, and you may not know this, that did not nominate somebody but voted for them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, think about it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Certain people get in, at the right time, with the right people on the ballot, and
the right time.
People don't. And,
what's the biggest argument in the discussion? And we'll get to this year's Hall of Fame class in a minute. But what I love is I always remember the Ron Borges stories of the NFL Hall of Fame or the Football Hall of Fame around Andre Tippett.
Yeah.
Right? And Borges arguing to get, I think, Tippett in or Willie McGinnis in. Has there ever been a heated discussion about getting a player in or not getting a player in?
Yeah. I'm just thinking now, one year I was on, but some reason, the first time I was on the nominating committee, I think, anyway, I was doing it by phone, and it was a conference call. And I was there my guy I was pitching for was Guy Rogers of the great playmaker of Philadelphia and Bulls. And so I'm going on my case for Guy Rogers, and Jack Ramsey, Dr. Jack, was one of the panelists. And I hear him said, "Bob, he couldn't guard you or me." So that's the one I do remember. But other than that, I don't remember any knockdown dragouts about somebody, in person at all.
Yeah, but I'll tell you,
one if I.
Jeff, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall just to hear the discussion.
I know. I'm with you. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, we're going to get to something here, guys, because if I were on the committee, there would have been a knockdown dragout for me to approve a certain member of this new class.
Ooh. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's start with Carmelo Anthony, who I think,
yes.
To me, he's borderline, but what do I know?
Well, hold on. Can we read out before, because this might be the one that Bob's pushing back on. I bet it is.
You want to read all of them out?
Well, I just want to, 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, led the NBA in scoring in 2013. Obviously, we know what he did at Syracuse, leading Syracuse to a title in his lone year there. Big-time scorer, big-time shot maker, not a big-time winner. Not a big-time winner in the NBA. And Robert, is that who you're pushing back on here?
No.
Okay.
It's the other guy.
All right, let's go Carmelo first, and then we will get to the other guy.
Yeah, we'll do Carmelo.
Start with Carmelo.
I saw this coming, that as he continued to score and score and score, and also I'm a big advocate that if you do have still, the things all change, and that we don't have great college careers anymore.
Right.
We don't have them. We don't have 4-year great careers. We don't get 3-year great careers. But there was among the great one-year careers was Carmelo Anthony. And you just pointed out, he led Syracuse to a title. And then it went, by the way, turned out to be a philanthropist and gave a lot back to that university after 1 year. We give him credit for that. That shouldn't have to do with the vote, but I'm just giving him his props, his proper props, okay?
Well, they paid him a lot his freshman year.
Pardon me?
I said they paid him a lot his freshman year, so I'm joking.
All right. Well, and they got their money's worth. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's fine. He was a stereotype, but we've had these before. He's not the first guy who was devoted to offense and indifferent to defense in the history of this league. He also was a black hole when it came to, for most of his career, when it came to giving it up once he got it. His career totals 24 points a game, 22.5 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.7 assists.
That's high. 2.7 is high, Bob.
I'm amazed he had that many assists.
Me too.
Frankly, his image was so bad in that regard. But I just knew he was going to go to the Hall of Fame. You couldn't deny. And I'll give him now. Even though well, we're going to get to the other guy. But the fact that he bounced around so much was partially due to the desirability and partially due to the fact that people were willing to give him up. Yeah. And he played for in his last 7 years. He played for 5 different teams. His glory years were his beginning of his career in Denver and then in New York. And then from that point on, he went OKC, Houston, Portland, and Lakers, and without much distinction. And his great scoring averages were in the beginning. But I'm not going to deny it to him. I think I would have. And I'll say this, on the Olympic team, he performed a service because nobody cared that he didn't guard anybody. His role was to give them instant offense, which he did. And they had some close games, like with Spain and both the championship games of 08 and 12. And he was a useful part of that Olympic team. So I give him that too. So I would have voted for Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hey, my claim to fame with Carmelo was I was covering a Red Sox game years ago, and I broke before the game. It's like, you're there an hour and a half before, you're watching batting practice, whatever. You go down to the availability, all that stuff. And I get a call, Carmelo's committed to Syracuse. And I'm like the only one. I remember sitting there taking notes from a seat in Fenway. Nobody else is really in Fenway at that point. And I had no idea. I'm like Carmelo Anthony, okay, to Syracuse, big deal. I mean, he was a highly recruited player, obviously, but you had no idea what he was going to become. And I think Carmelo, here's the one thing I'll say. I think Carmelo gets a bad rap because of how he played, because he was kind of a selfish player that translated to off the court. And I don't know Carmelo super well, but if you talk to people and you see Carmelo, like he seems like, and it is generally regarded as a great, great guy who is not selfish off the court. In fact, I'll give you an example, is he has an AAU team and he's always around. Now, his kid played for the AAU team the last few years. His kid, by the way, Kyan Anthony, you guys don't know this, is a freshman at Syracuse this year. He's 6'5", and he is a tough shot taker and maker, kind of like his dad. He's a poor man's Carmelo, but he'll probably come off the bench and give him instant offense. But Carmelo, I think, again, got a bad rap as a person because people thought because he played that way that he was that way.
Yeah.
And he really wasn't.
Yeah. And he had a celebrity wife too. And people either like that or don't like that. Seriously.
He was great with his time, though. I will say this, as approachable of a guy as you will find, like anytime I needed to go up to Carmelo, wherever it was, always a smile on his face, always gracious with his time with other people as well. So I'm glad. I mean, again, this is not a great class for the Hall of Fame, let's be honest. And I'm sure that'll bring Gary to us to our next subject.
And this is Bob's, excuse me, right in Bob's wheelhouse, Dwight Howard. We'll get back to the guys in just a minute. But PrizePicks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less and at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Baseball, everything is heating up, folks. Taking a look at those pennant races. Get in on your favorite players. Get in on the action with your favorite teams. And PrizePicks invented Flex Play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money, even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Can you imagine that? Talk about that. Still make money if it doesn't work. 100%. Every Tuesday, PrizePicks will discount several projections on the board, usually by 15% to 25%. And Taco Tuesday, you got to check it out. It's not only a great name, it's a great time. Okay. And, you know, this is really how it works. It's as simple as this. You take a look at your player like Kyle Schwarber, right? More or less. 2 or more home runs a game, more or less. Bo Bichette hitting the ball. More or less 3 hits in a game. Pete Alonso, more or less 2 RBIs in a game. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
I'm on record. I can't deny it. It's out there. That I once tweeted when it was still tweeting and not Xing, okay? Yeah. The topic somehow came up about him and his greatness and all that. And I said that words to this effect, if the world, the U.S., the planet Earth were playing to defend itself in a basketball game against an alien invader, I would rather play 4-on-5 than have Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard as my center. Okay, he's one of my truly least favorite players of the 21st century. Right. Okay,
and he was hard to like. He was hard to like because of his personality, and he's just
if you only look at the record, 18 years. However, Orlando, Clippers, Rockets, Hornets, Atlanta, Hawks, 76ers, and Washington. Okay. The Lakers, excuse me. 17. There's a reason. And now his credentials, multi-time All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. I'd like to wish they'd take those votes back. The fact is, he never developed an offensive game, a real game. He never put in time enough to develop a true offensive game. He got putbacks and dunks and lobs and shit, but he didn't have a game. He did not have a game.
He did not.
You know what? I think he's one of the great waste of a phenomenal body that the NBA has ever had. He was born, put on this earth to play NBA basketball. God said, "This is what you're going to do, son. You're going to the NBA. I'm giving you a body that they're going to die for. Everybody else will die for." He was, but he always focused on the wrong things. It seemed to me
he changed. He wasn't always like that, Bob. So when I first started seeing Dwight Howard, he was a part of the best front line maybe I've ever seen in AAU basketball. It's him, Randolph Morris, and Josh Smith, the Georgia Stars. And Dwight was quiet. Believe it or not, Dwight was quiet and he could handle it. And everything about him kind of changed when he got to the NBA. Obviously, he skipped college, didn't have to go to college, and was a man child. But his game, you're right, he never expanded his game, partially because he didn't need to. He was he had those shoulders since he was 15 years old. Like, he was a man, but he could do some stuff away from the basket then. And I felt like, again, partially probably on him, partially probably on the way the game was then and, the coaches, but they kind of threw him in the post, and that's what he was. I think if he came into the NBA a few years ago, I think you would have seen a different Dwight Howard. I think you would have seen the skill set flourish, him being able to, but he almost became too big, in a way. But the other part for Dwight was, again, his personality, man. He was quiet. He was so likable to talk to when he was a kid. And then he kind of became a clown to some degree.
Yes, thank you. Honest to God, this is not a setup, folks. He used the verb, the noun I was going to use. I called him a clown at the time. He's a big clown. He's not interested in winning. And he wasn't a winner. You talk about not being a winner. Yeah, he got a ring. going up, as we'd like to say, along for the ride with the Lakers. Okay, he got a ring. He was hardly responsible for it. Trust me. And that's so he can say I got a ring. But
I remember
anyway,
being Bob. I remember being on Jim Rome's show. I don't know, 20 years ago, and I said, Dwight Howard is not going to win a championship in his career, and I was proven wrong. But again, like you said, he didn't really earn that ring. I mean, he was on the bench, and they might as well have given the ring to you or me.
All right, guys, let's move on. Yes. Anything else, Bob, on Dwight?
Here is the Redeem Team. The next thing up, the NBA connection in this, in this Hall of Fame induction, the next big one of the 2008 Redeem Team is
Right.
Beijing. And I got to set the table on this one. Why they're worthy of it? Why we needed them? You consider that in 2004 we did not win the Olympics, nor did we win the World Championship in 2006. Things were falling apart. Part of it was a little bit. You needed all the right players. We're starting to send a B team when suddenly a B team wasn't good enough. Okay, and we needed to start sending an A team. But consider that when they went to Beijing in 2008, that the United States of America in the world of basketball was the champion of nothing. We were not the champion of anything. We were not the Olympic champion defending, and we were not the world champion in Tokyo. We lost that. Okay, so we needed this team to get us back on track, and they did. They came through. Now, Jerry Colangelo appointed Coach K. Mike Krzyzewski became the coach, and the team roster. I'll go very, very quickly. Carmelo, Carlos Boozer, Chris Bosh, Kobe, Dwight Howard, LeBron, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul. And the two that people never remember, and I know I didn't. I went, oh really? Tayshaun Prince and Michael Redd.
Oh,
all right, that was the team. Yeah. Okay, they were clearly the 12th, 11th, the 12th man. Oh, two more: Deron Williams, and then somebody very prominent, Dwayne Wade. Okay, so Deron Williams, people forget about him too. At one point he was a very good point guard, but he's fallen completely out of everybody's memory, I think. Anyway, all right, so they deserve the accolade because they restored us and put us back on track. And we beat Spain in the championship game, 118-107. Spain was very good then. So that's what they are. They're the 2008 Olympic team, so-called Redeem Team.
Yeah, Coach K deserves a lot of credit because he would get those guys together. As a college guy, you were like, when Colangelo appointed him, there was some skepticism, right? Like, why are you going to hire a college guy? He doesn't have the relationships with a lot of these guys, especially that team. You think about it, but he was able to get the key players on board
because it wasn't his special. Right. He was a special coach. You remember, he did have a feel for it. He was assistant coach on the Dream Team.
That's right.
And assistant on that team. And so, I think he probably had that. So, but he's Mike Krzyzewski. He's his own special case of great among all the great coaches. He was one guy, just as Chuck Daly was the perfect guy for the Dream Team.
Yep.
And he was a perfect guy for that team. That he could handle all the personalities. We had some women, guys, 3 prominent women: Sue Bird, Maya Moore, and Sylvia Fowles. And I just want to say, Sue Bird, you can toss up the coin at the 2 greatest female point guards ever: Sue Bird or Dawn Staley. But Sue Bird's credentials include 3 WNBA titles, 13-time All-Star, 5-time WA champion, and 2-time Olympic champion. Her record in college was 114-4.
Crazy.
That's not bad.
Crazy.
So just remember, folks, it's not a basketball an NBA Hall of Fame. It's an all-encompassing Hall of Fame, and it's you should be given equal weight. If it used to the old days, it was dominated by college guys, because that's what it was. This Hall of Fame goes way back. Okay, so I'm a big advocate. I'm very happy for Sue Bird.
All right, we can't finish this wherever we're going to go next without talking about maybe my favorite college coach I've ever been around, and
yes.
Billy Donovan was. There just weren't many guys like him. There just weren't, and it's funny because when he first got in, he's hired a young kid at Marshall. Obviously, we go back to his playing days with Providence and how he transformed his body under Pitino and took him to the Final Four, all that. But as a coach, think about it. He was at Marshall, and Jeremy Foley hires him at Florida, takes a chance on this kid who, again, had no credentials. And Billy turns Florida football school into a basketball school, and he wins back-to-back titles with a group that wasn't highly regarded. I mean, these guys were like top 100. I remember seeing Joakim Noah in high school. He couldn't catch the ball. He was at a tournament in Providence. He had hands of stone.
Hey, what? Be careful. He went to Lawrenceville.
I'm just saying.
Be careful.
They didn't coach him up very well with his hands there, Bob, because he could not catch the ball then. Al Horford was like a top 75 player. The highest rated player in that group was Corey Brewer. He was like an All-American, like a fringe top 25 player. Torian Green. They just did it with a group that Billy found a way to coach him up, and they play well together. And I will say this: there's not a college coach that I miss being around more, that I miss covering more, that has left the college game since I've been covering it. Whether that's the retired guys, the older guys like Kay, like Roy, Jay Wright, even, who just quit his TV job. Then Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan, I'll give you my favorite Billy Donovan story, Bob.
Yeah.
And then you can take the floor with Billy. So after, obviously he wins the 2 titles, and then he takes the Orlando Magic job. And I remember breaking the story when he took the job. Then I break the story when he reneged on the job. And the funny part of breaking that story, without him knowing it, Billy Donovan's father was the one who confirmed it for me. I called him up and basically congratulated him on Billy coming back or something. And he without knowing it, he confirmed it. Anyway, we are sitting, he had reneged on the Magic job. We are having beers in Akron, Ohio for the LeBron James Skills Academy. And he's telling me the entire story, start to finish of everything of how, took the job, reneged on everything. And we're having a couple. We're having a few. And the streets of Akron are completely empty. And this is obviously 2008, like before cell phones and video and all that. And I don't know how, but I got him doing the Ric Flair hooting, hollering, and the dance, everything down the streets of Akron. Nobody's in the street. And he's yelling, hooting, hollering, all of it, doing the strut. All of it. And I'm like, I say it to him all the time now. I'm like, I wish I had a video of that, man. That would have gone viral. But Billy was just, I feel bad in the NBA. He has never had, like, the Bulls stink. He's got no chance. I want him to go back to college and finish his career, even though he got a big extension and obviously he's getting paid a ton of money. But to me, I hope he finishes his career in college at a North Carolina or something of that ilk. Because right now he's got no chance in Chicago.
Are you sure you want to wish that collegiate mess on anybody you like now?
Well, he'd have money.
Yeah,
if he goes to the right spot, Bob, he'd have money.
I don't know. What is it?
I mean, you got to have money.
Amherst and Williams. I think Division III is the only place left of sanity.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, you mentioned his body reshape. When Rick Pitino got the PC job, I went to have lunch with him down at famous Murphy's in Providence. Everybody knows Murphy's. And he got telling me, he said, I got this kid, Billy Donovan, and he's 20 pounds overweight. And I told him, you got to lose weight for me or you're not playing. You're not playing for me. Well, we all know what happened. Billy lost the weight, and several months later, he's in the Final Four with that 87 PC team. And so he's a Pitino. He's Pitino, acolyte.
Oh, they're linked forever. I mean, that was tremendous. What a great story.
Yeah. And so we're Jeff and I are very, very
happy. Hey, Jeff, what about Mark Few? Because you go from Billy Donovan, who's very well known, to Mark Few, he's not for basketball people, they know who he is, but like there's a lot of casual sports fans that know who Billy Donovan is, But there's a lot of.
Few didn't get in, though. Few didn't get in. Right?
Oh, I had him on my list. Did he not get in?
Did he get in?
Oh, shit. How could he not get in?
I thought Few got in.
I don't know. I'm looking.
No, he's not on the list. He's not in.
Yeah, I don't think he got in. I think he got nominated. I think he was nominated, Gary, but I don't think Few got in. He will get in. He will get it.
Well, then, all right, let's give him his due. I thought I saw him on the list. Are you sure?
I mean, he's been in the
No, he's not
championship
on it. He's not on
game.
the list.
Right. Yeah, he didn't get in. This is I think I don't know if it's the fewest amount of total people that have gotten in, but fewest amount of players I think that have gotten in a long time.
We would be
No, he
remiss
was not
if we
the
don't
finalist.
think-
My mistake. Yeah, I
Yep.
thought he'd get in.
He'll get in eventually. He'll get it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, guys, let me tell you about Gametime. If you want, it's the easiest way to get tickets. Okay, it's this simple. You just go, I got the app right on my phone. It's the big G, white background. You just hit the app. It's an amazing way to unlock some great seats, great tickets. Few taps to get a terrific experience. Incredibly easy to use. The Gametime guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included. So what you see is what you paid. There are no surprises. So when you go to the Gametime app, like right now, if you're a parent, you want to take your young people to a game. Let's face it, the pro games can be expensive. I mean, it's a lot. I know the Patriots aren't what they once were, but NFL tickets can be in the hundreds. But there are still some minor league games available, like the Portland Sea Dogs or the Worcester Red Sox. We can get great deals for $8 a seat, $12 a seat, right here, right on your phone. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats, soccer for the Revolution. Check them out as well. The Sox, we all know the Sox are in it. So those tickets are going to be a little bit higher. But like Holy Cross football is $25. That's a great take. Plus my alma mater too, University of Maine. The Revs for $20 to go see them. In Boston college football, if you take a look and you just go on the app and you look at BC football, Notre Dame is going to be a little more expensive as you would expect. But you could take your family to see Clemson, an ACC matchup, for less than $50 a ticket. BC football, it's a great take. Absolutely. Georgia Tech's going to be in town later on, again, under $25. For some of the bigger programs, they're going to be a little more expensive, as you would imagine. So that's the Gametime app. Just log on, check it out. And they have zone deals. So you save even more when you choose a section and let Gametime choose the seats. Snag new tickets, deals before anyone finds out by following your favorite teams in the Gametime app to receive alerts, right? You get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Gametime, or for that matter, the Red Sox are still in it. Before you know it, you'll be looking for Bruins tickets too, or some of the minor league teams that are still in action around town. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Let's do it again, Gary. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Gametime app today. For those of you listening to this show, we ask that you subscribe to the podcast, like and leave a review. And for those watching the show on CLNS, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the Celtics All Access YouTube channel, where you find our show and a lot of other great Celtics content. Also, please make sure to turn on your notifications so you know the instant a new video drops.
Right. Bob's gonna drop a name that all three of us know very well.
If we don't pay our tribute to Jeff Twiss of the Boston Celtics,
right,
who is going to the John Bunn Award, which they say is the highest award next to enshrinement, and it's a very prestigious award in basketball that they give. Jeff Twiss, as far as I can tell, is the longest tenured employee that Celtics have ever had. That wasn't, that wasn't related. He joined the team as an intern first in 1976 and became a full-time employee in 1981, and he's still there.
Wow.
And on the handful of 5 nicest people I've ever met in my life, he's on that list. Yep. He's one of those guys that's so nice he makes you feel sick. You're embarrassed. You're not that nice. Yep. He's just inherently a good person.
I got 2 questions. Have you ever heard him swear, and have you ever seen him mad?
Never.
No. And he's got, I called to your attention, go search out a story that Adam Himmelsbach of the Globe did about him 2 days ago, because the anecdotes, he's got some, I learned a lot. I thought I knew the man for 50 years. I learned a lot. And the experiences he's had are priceless, but he's well deserving of this honor. So congratulations, Jeff.
One of the good ones. There's no doubt about it. One of the good ones. Do you want to wrap everything? Did you want to talk about George Raveling now, Bob?
Yeah. George Raveling passed away this week, 88. And for people, George Raveling was well known as a collegiate coach at Washington State, Iowa, and SC, but equally well known in the basketball world for his work, his Nike work and all. And the guy who was most very responsible for Michael Jordan, getting the Michael Jordan to Nike. And then when they did the movie a couple of years ago, Michael Jordan had 2 requests or demands. 1, George Raveling is in the movie himself, and 2, Viola Davis plays my mom. But George Raveling is a man everyone had the highest regard for, and of course he's famous for he actually gained possession of the Martin Luther King notes on the "I Have a Dream" speech. That's a whole other story itself. But never got, and Jeff, you tell me. All my career in basketball, over 50 plus years, I never heard a bad word about George Raveling.
No.
Now, I grew up rooting for him at Villanova he was a great rebounder. He's also well known as assistant coach at Maryland. He's the guy that got the ad put in the Washington Post about the 4 big Washington area recruits when he was working assistant for Leslie Driesell. We want you, and it was in the Washington Post. Well, they only wound up getting one of them. That was Dave Freitag. That was Jim O'Brien. But the other 3 all went to Boston.
Yeah.
Harvard got James Brown, the James Brown of CBS fame, and Floyd Lewis, who was a terrific rebounder, and BC got Dave Freitag. But anyway, that was very innovative, very clever. But I don't know. He is one of the most universally beloved people in all the giant world of sports, of basketball.
All right, well done, guys. That'll do it for this week's show. You've been listening to the Bob Bryant, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay Along for the Ride podcast. Proud member of the CLNS Media Network. The show is brought to you by PrizePicks, North America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download today. Use code CLNS to get $50 when you play 5. PrizePicks, run your game. Okay, guys, talk to you next week.